Welcome to the channel, beautiful. And don't forget to like and subscribe because it's brand new and it's no AI bullshit. So sit on my little lap, sit next to me, get comfortable, get your little coffee, get your little blanket, and it's time to arrive.
Was Kato Kaelin. In Diddy, it's the Punisher. This is just almost hysterical.
Yes, that.
And I can say hysterical because I'm not sure how he connects to any crime, but it's one of the most entertaining. Well,
You're not sure how he connects to any crime?
correct, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
The guy, his name is the Punisher. We first heard about him when Cassie was on the stand, and she referred to one of the alleged sex workers that they had freak-offs with as the Punisher.
Okay, so let's get into
And
it.
so
and then
he
we'll-
took the stand today.
Yeah, he took the stand.
As an alleged sex worker, and you don't figure out how he fits
Yeah.
into this case?
Problem, Charles, is that there has to be, and I don't want to
Let's get to it.
bogged down in it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Where is the interstate transportation? He's from Harlem, and he did it.
Right.
Everything he did that he testified
And
to
all of-
is
and
in
all of
New
them-
York.
and all of his
is
parties
in
that were all in New York.
Essex House, Trump International Hotel, and that's what I saw. Now, maybe there's more, but that's what I saw. The Punisher meets Diddy and Cassie after Cassie says that I'm having a birthday party for my husband and we'd love for you to come and be an exotic dancer. And so the Punisher shows up at the Trump International Hotel in New York City, and there are candles lit in the living room. And he walks in.
What a romantic setting.
And Cassie says to him, well, look, you know, my husband kind of wants to watch as you do some kind of an exotic dance, and why don't you go into the bathroom and maybe change into bathrobe or your underwear or whatever.
Slip into something more comfortable?
Well, he slips into nothing because he comes out naked. And then Cassie suggests that maybe they could even get more intimate as Diddy watches all of this as she is lathered in baby oil and they have sex and Cassie pays him. Initially, it was supposed to be $800 and then I believe she gives him another $1,200 on his way out the door. This was repeated over a period of time.
Right.
But it's just like unbelievable.
So,
some of the color of this witness. I'm telling you, he's written a book, and part of the book chronicles some of this, except he used aliases.
Do you know what the name of the book is?
I do. Why don't you mention it to our
friends here?
wonderful people?
Yes. The title of the book is Freezer Meat.
And they say. Said, why freezer meat? And he said, well, that's as hard as it gets, essentially. So anyway.
Harvey, what's interesting to me about this guy is how does this relate to the case that they're trying to prove against Diddy? It does seem like it was
That's
a
my question,
very wild
Derek.
sex part, coercion, who saw him actually sort of force Cassie into things, but that's not the nature of this testimony. It sounds like he was hired for some sort of sexual escapade. They did it and everything was consensual, so I'm not sure where this gets them.
And Derek, everything I saw was that it all happened in New York. It raises the bigger issue that I talked about yesterday, which is if the jury feels they are reaching so hard to dirty him up, it might backfire.
I
It
could see that.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they have a lot of dirty stuff. I mean, Cassie's mom testifying and so forth. They've got other testimony that they're going to really bolster this RICO claim that he was running a criminal operation. I just don't know that. that the Punisher did anything than entertain the jury a little bit.
We're going to get to Cassie's mom in just a moment, but there were, yesterday, they
the whole
displayed...
big thing with this is the freak-offs, right? So they wanted to introduce the freak-offs to the public, and they did it through...
Are these photos of the sex workers that they hired. For the freak-offs. All their names and faces were displayed in court, and so now everyone got to look at these guys.
And there's a TV show.
And people quickly noticed that, at least that we figured so far, 2 of the guys were on a TV show called Gigolos. 2 of these guys, Ash, and on the show, his name was Vin, though they displayed him in court as Jules. And we heard Cassie talk about Jules. Both of these guys were on that show and have very interesting stories in Vegas, and they took mushrooms together. He admitted of his blows, and so now he's doing time. He's in prison, but he was a guy that Cassie says they frequently hooked up with.
And again, this is a very specific case about specific charges, and it's true that closing arguments is when prosecutors try to tie everything together. And because I don't get the Punisher, I don't understand the point of it. And, if there was a real point, you would have thought the prosecutor would have brought it up during opening statements to say, and we're going to call this guy called the Punisher because, so at least the jury knows why.
Right.
But I don't know about you, I'm confused.
No, the Punisher is an absolutely confusing witness as far as what he testified to. Who was not confusing to me, though,
is the mom.
The mom. Cassie's mom, Regina Ventura, was on the stand and testified about a transaction that went down between herself, her husband, and Diddy. A $20,000 transaction that she says this was money that Diddy demanded from her. In her words, he wanted to recoup money he was losing because at the time Cassie was then dating Kid Cudi.
Just wrapping up in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. On the stand now is a male exotic dancer who went by the stage name The Punisher, Sheree Hayes. Let's get an update on this trial from our own Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft, who is what is the latest now? I know Cassie Ventura's mother was on the stand when we last talked to you.
Yes, she was, and her testimony is now complete. No cross-examination of Regina Ventura Julia. So what's happening right now inside the federal courthouse behind me? Everyone's just making their way back from the lunch break. And when court does get back, continue his testimony under direct, we can put a little bit of it up on the screen for you so far. He talked about how he first got involved with doing the freak-offs. He was an exotic dancer, but then Cassie Ventura had hired him. And when he arrived at her house, what he said is that, or at the hotel, I should say, he said he thought that he would be seeing lots of other women because he was going to be doing a striptease of some sort. He didn't really know what he was getting himself into, though. He said that he worked as a male exotic dancer with the stage name The Punisher from 2012 to 2016. He did describe his first encounter with Ventura and Combs, saying, "I was specifically told not to acknowledge her husband." By the end of the evening, Ventura had handed him $2,000 in cash. He talked about how when he first walked in to that hotel room, he saw bottles of baby oil. He also said that he saw bowls of water. In addition to that, he saw a nude male that was standing in the corner holding ASTROGLIDE. This male had some sort of veil, he described it, over him. He only could see his eyes. At this point, he said he did not know that this was Sean Diddy Combs, and he also didn't know that it was Cassie Ventura. He that he didn't really know who she was, but he engaged in numerous freak-offs. So he described about 8 to 12 of them that he took part in. He eventually realized that it was Sean Combs. And how did he find this out? He was sitting in their suite in the room, and everyone knows when you go to a hotel room, they put up your name. It might say, for instance, welcome Kelly Craft. And he saw that it said on the screen inside the room as he waited to start taking part in that freak-off, it said, welcome Mr. Combs. This was before he was about to engage in another one of these freak-offs. He said he then put 2 and 2 together, realizing that the woman that I'm going to be with and have been with is Cassie Ventura. So that's how he found out. That was pretty interesting testimony. I will say Sean Combs, when he made his way into the courtroom this morning, he was doing the heart blow to some people, some of his supporters inside that courtroom. And then as the Punisher has been on the stand testifying, Sean Combs has been looking at the jury to see what kind of reaction they are giving. There are a lot of notes being